Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back on my home turf, one of my favorite filming spot locations, because guess what? We have that small crossover SUV that brings a power pack punch underneath the hood. What are we talking about? We're talking about this 2025 Mazda CX-30 Turbo, and this is the top premium plus trim. But before we get into this all-wheel drive new color CX-30, let's talk about what's going on here. Mazda, believe it or not, last quarter, they had really good sales going on. A lot of it had to do with pricing. Their pricing is still very competitive to what the competition is doing. And what's also great is that they have a full array of vehicles when it comes specifically to crossover SUVs. The CX-30 is their smallest vehicle, and of course the CX-90 is their largest. They still have the Miata and everything else in between. Now, there are a lot of different subcompacts to choose from, and that's what this is a subcompact. And you got to be careful because some of them are really like boring. They don't have a lot of power, they don't have a lot of tech, and styling-wise, ugh. The CX-30 is trying to change that. So let's go ahead, let's find out if this is the best subcompact crossover SUV you should be buying with your hard-earned money. Let's dive into this CX-30. Right off the bat, the new color, it reminds me of Porsche's Chalk. It's called Aero Gray Metallic, and Mazda bangs it right out of the park every time with their colors. They have a color palette which is absolutely amazing, and I'm really digging this color. Now at the front of the business, you'll see that very, very sporty small headlight housing with our LED headlights, LED turn signals, and daytime running lamps. I like the way we got the dark chrome finish on the eyeliner underneath the headlight housing. And then lowering our way down, here's where you have your turn signals, a lot of that body color, and then some flat black on the lower corner section. Now, when you compare this to vehicles like the Hyundai Kona, the Kia Seltos, the Chevy Trax, to me, this has way more style and just more street cred than any of those vehicles. Now, as we come across that long slung nose, you're gonna have that Mazda badge with a forward-facing camera. Premium Plus gets us the gloss black accents throughout that whole functional grille. And I like the way they take that dark chrome finish and run it from one end of the front end to the other. Working our way down, ginormous softball size openings. You do have active shutters that open and close because we do have an intercooler for our turbocharged power plant. And then you have this beefy lip on the front end. But like I said, comparing it to vehicles in its class, I feel like this is the best looking one. Now, as we rise up, that nice aerodynamic hood with our aero gray metallic paint, no hard edges anywhere on this vehicle. As we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna get these metallic gloss black multi-spoke wheel, 18-inch wheel. Tires are gonna be 215 on the width, 55 series sidewall, and Mazdas, because of their zoom history, do a little bit more with the suspension, and that's where you're gonna get that sporty suspension tuning. Now, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. There is a lot of cladding on the CX-30. I don't know why they gotta have so much. It would have been nice to have this all painted on a Premium Plus, so I am gonna zonk that. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section, but I'm really digging the color of the wheel with our aero gray color. Coming down the side, we got metallic painted mirror caps, like the way that the arms are in flat black that hold on up those mirrors. Up top, you're gonna get gloss black on your roof rails, standard size sunroof. My other zonk is gonna be the bright, shiny metalwork only along the bottom. That should be blacked out like the trim on the nose. And from the side, you can see the proportions, subcompact, but definitely sportier, not boxy, like a, you know, when you think of like a Kicks, they're a little bit more boxier, even though they did some restyle on them. Or, God, if you think about a couple years ago, the old Ford EcoSports, those were disgusting. But you have color match on the door handles, more of that flat black, too much flat black, too much cladding. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Working our way towards the rear, you actually do get a corner glass window. Some brands are doing this thing where they just put gloss black here. Nice to have actual real glass. And then spinning around the back, just like up front, I love the detail in their lighting. It's all LED. You got a gloss black roof spoiler, but it would have been nice to have the whole roof painted black and then take this wiper and tuck it underneath. So I am gonna zonk, of course, the exposed wiper. But from the back, like I said, no hard edges. And I'm really digging that. Like you look at a Volkswagen Taos, too boxy. This, nice and sleek. There she is, that turbo badge. We got turbocharged power, CX-30 with the all-wheel drive. And then dropping it like it's hot, you're gonna get functional exposed exhaust on both sides, nice stainless steel tip / cut, and a clean lower bumper diffuser area. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about how sporty the outside is. Let's see if the engine stands up to some sporty. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. All the competitors in this class have a prop rod. Underneath the hood is that tried and true engine plate. That's a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4. It's hard to get some power in this subcompact class. You're looking at 250 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a torque converter, automatic transmission, 6-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds, quarter mile in 14 seconds at 99 miles an hour. Top speed is governed to 128 miles per hour. MPG's 22 in the city, 30 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs right around 3,472 pounds. So, like I said, a lot of times if you want performance in a subcompact, you gotta go like with a BMW or a Mercedes and spend a ridiculous amount of money. Nice to have turbocharged power in this pint-sized SUV. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this Aero Gray Metallic 2025 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Premium Plus. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm really liking this CX-30. And you're right, it is so much sportier looking than a lot of the other boring vehicles in this subcompact class. But how much is it? Very good question. This particular one has an MSRP of $38,700. Let's see if Mazda does it just a little bit differently compared to the competition. To the door panels, I like the premium style. You have the soft touch black up top. Then you have the stitching on that milk chocolate brown. And then on the armrest, same story. Some of that milk chocolate brown with the contrast stitching. I do have to zonk the gloss black around the switchgear. That's going to get fingerprints. But that door pocket is a great size for a number 2 from Mickey D's. That's 2 cheeseburgers, a large fry, and a large Coke, and of course, supersize it. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you got your two-tone with the brown and the black, all soft touch material. Even on the side here, look at this. Look at the way they elevate the materials. You're not getting that in your Kia Seltos. Slide on in. This is probably the sticky point of the conversation. You have a 10.2-inch infotainment system. That's not a bad thing. What a lot of people are going to zonk, and let me know in the comment section, is that it's not a touchscreen. The good news is for 2025, they updated the native navigation. It has over-the-air updates, and you have Alexa. So that's going to help you have a little bit better use of the technology. And of course, there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. To use anything on the screen, you got to use the direct drive control knob right here, and that allows you to zoom in, zoom out. We can go to our home screen. You could have your other selections, or check this out. There's a button on the left of the steering wheel that you press where I could activate my cameras, and the resolution is stupendous, including that 360-degree camera. So that's nice the way they have that technology in there. And then let me zoom back out so we know. Whoa, that's too far. Oh, now we're upside down. I don't know what the heck's going on here. We'll figure that out later. Working our way down, you have your dual climate control, real knobs, nice switch gear. You got heated seats, no ventilated seats. That would have been a nice touch, but you do have heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's your start-stop button. Down below, you got your wireless charging and 2 cup holders. The only zonk about the cup holders is that if you have one of those bigger bottles, it's not going to fit because it's going to hit this part right here. I wish that they would have kind of moved everything up a little bit and had the cup holders back here like they used to. You do have some gloss black, but you're not going to be touching this. This is going to be controlling your 6-speed automatic transmission. There's that direct drive that I told you about. When it comes to modes, it's real simple. Sport and off. That's all you get. And then nice soft with the chocolate brown. I like this. Look at this. You could actually have easy access, or you could bring it all the way forward. Whatever you want. We're going to open it up because you have 2 USB-Cs in there. And then you have enough room. I would say you could put a Sony Walkman and a Sony Discman in there. You're just going to have to figure out a place to put the cassette tapes and your CDs. But I remember the days of having the big books in your car of all your CDs, your CD collection. Those were good times. Seats, new color, nice creamy white with the perforations, nice bolstering. The zonk is you don't have power assist, so no power assist for the passenger. The saving grace is that you have power assist for the driver's seat, and we do have a standard size sunroof. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the sporty steering wheel in the CX-30. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your easy access seat controls, and the good news is you do have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and even with that chop top kind of look, like an old hot rod, there's plenty of room in here, plenty. Steering wheel, love the sportiness with the leather, flat black on all the switch gear, even a good looking horn button. You do have small paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the 6-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then I like the way the gauges are. I don't need full digital gauges. You have an analog tach, analog coolant, and fuel gauge, and then the center, that's actually not analog, it's actually digital because I could go through different information in that center display. Of course, like I showed you, you have sport and you have off. And all it does is when you go to sport, it just says sport. So nothing really that's going to wow you. But what is also good to have technology-wise is a head-up display. Nice to have that clear reading right at your eyesight. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are going to be okay with the amount of space in the CX-30. Guys, back seat time, and it's interesting how they have the interior set up because they did a good job of keeping my head away from the headliner. Seats are very comfy. Backs of the seats, you do have large pockets. Look at that. You could put easily 3 Krispy Kreme donuts back there. Just don't squish it because then you're gonna spew glaze all over the beautiful interior back here. AC vents, but the big zonk is no connectivity, man. No connectivity at all, but at least there's AC vents back here. The material is comfy. You pull this down, it reminds me of a freaking marshmallow because look at this. Nice and soft with 2 cup holders. But not just about the interior for the people, it's about the interior for your junk. Let's go check out the cargo area and see how much room there is in this CX-30. All right, guys, time to get in that cargo area. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Hit the button, nice electric assist. You're gonna be greeted to 20 cubic feet of space. One of the things that I love is how low the cargo floor is. Gives you a nice lip with the back portion of the trunk area. Really nice to have that so things don't go rolling down your driveway. Lift this up, you do have a spare, and this is your Bose sound system subwoofer. We'll put this back down. And then of course, to get more room, it's real simple. You're just gonna hit the button on top of the rear of the seat. It's a 60-40 split. One side goes down, the other side goes down, and you're good to go with now more room. We went from 20 cubic feet of space up to 45.2 cubic feet of space. So nice to see that. But why don't we go ahead? I miss the days, man. The Mazda ads with the zoom zoom. That kid would be like, zoom zoom. Why don't we go zoom zoom and see how the on throttle is in the CX-30 Turbo. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Mazda CX-30 Turbo. We're gonna go on throttle right from a dead stop. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Gets the power to the ground very, very effectively with that all-wheel drive system. And the great news is that you have a very well balanced, laid out vehicle. The handling is great on these CX-30s. The all-wheel drive works great. And even though it has a 6-speed automatic transmission and not like a 20-speed automatic or something, it still shifts well. The upshifts, the downshifts, very, very smooth. And you're not getting too much wind noise or road noise, which is great. I think the biggest complaint most people are going to have is that the infotainment system is not a touchscreen. But like I said, it has been updated native navigation-wise, and you have Alexa. But the seats are some of the best in the business, much better than anything from the other brands at this price point. And even the materials, I mean, they do a great job on making the interior feel more high-end than what you would expect at this price point. I like how the gauges are laid out. It's easy to read, especially through the steering wheel. And yes, some of the competition is going to have more interior space and more cargo space, but they don't have the zoom of the acceleration of this turbocharged CX-30. But really just a fun car to drive. And it shows you through the years how Mazda has worked in that driver engagement, even in their crossover SUVs. But what's really nice is because of its overall size, it's very easy to drive in traffic. It's easy to park. If you live in the city streets are gonna not be such a big deal when you're behind the wheel of this CX-30. And just the layout in here, besides the dumb placement of the cup holders in the center console, everything else in here is very, very well laid out and not overly complicated just for being complicated's sake. But like I said, everywhere you're touching, all the materials feels fantastic in this CX-30. But I really just love the dynamic feel to the steering, to the handling, and of course, the overall acceleration in this car is really, really, really nice. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review for you. We're gonna get back to where it started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Hey guys, another great day in so many ways. We got to thank everybody over at Mazda USA for getting us access to this 2025 Premium Plus version of the CX-30. Nice to see some subtle changes. Well, some subtle and some not subtle, like this beautiful aero gray metallic paint job. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Is this the best of the bunch out of those smaller subcompact crossover SUVs? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Gotta give it up to LGR, Lori Raiti, working that camera like a champ, showing us some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.